Hey friend, guess who's back with our That's All, That's It series. Okay, we are here back again with another unfiltered, unscripted, and unedited conversation with Myah, Myah Unique. If you are new here, I am Myah Unique, your multi-passionate, purpose-pushing, visionary friend. And friend, we're not here to be surface level. We are here to get real deep. So go ahead and buckle on in. Get comfortable on your couch, get real comfy, because we about to really talk about some deep things. Today, I want to talk about being multifaceted, balancing a large physical plate, and how well we can actually steward our mental plate. And it's so crazy because this conversation honestly was sparked from my experience this week. Like this week, or today is actually May 22nd when I am filming this, and this experience took place for me on May 20th, which I believe was Monday. And I began to realize that, of course, I always knew like I am balancing a lot on my plate. Like I've always been known for that. I mean, I have had several questions from Instagram to just people around me, whether that's friends or family, like ask me like, how do you balance everything that's on your plate, right? Because it really is an art if you really think about it. Like it really is. But it's like I've always been like that. Like when I was in high school, right? I went to a very prestigious high school and they were really hard on like preparing us for college and all of those things. And so I was taking 7 classes. All 7 classes had homework. So I was a full-time high school student. I mean, and at a college preparatory school, as well as working another job. And so I've always been the type to have my hands in multiple different things. Of course, even in high school, I was doing ministry. I, was also working and all the things. And so, even when I got to college, like I've had a job since I was 14, right? And so even when I got to college, like I knew what it was like to go to college, run my own business, have another job, like all of the things. And so I've always, again, been balancing multiple things. And this season, currently I am a wife, right? I, serve in ministry. I am a full-time entrepreneur. I am in full-time ministry. I don't know if I said that already. Again, unedited, unscripted. But yeah, I do all of those things and I have my hands in all of those things. And then on top of all of that, right, before all of that, I have to make sure that I'm pouring into my cup. So how am I doing spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, right? And so that's, again, something that's on my to-do list, because I believe that you can't pour into anyone else. You can't serve anyone else if you're not 100%, right? And so again, I have all of these different areas that I have to steward on a day-to-day basis. So again, myself, my home, my community, my business, and my ministry. And so I, again, have all of these different areas. I am not a mom yet, but I am a dog mom, right? So I have to, tend to her, take her out, go on walks, all the things. My plate is pretty busy. My plate is pretty booked. And I think, again, you that clicked on this video can relate to that, right? Like you are most likely a wife or a mom or, an entrepreneur. You have your hands in ministry. Like you may have a job. Also, like a part of my brand, which I am taking on contract jobs at this point, just to build my expertise. Underneath my brand, I am also working 2 contract jobs. So I am a instructor / facilitator for a business accelerator program that is a 10-week program, and it happens maybe 4 times a year. And so we're currently running that. I'm not needed for every single class, but that is something that is also on my to-do list. Also something that is on my plate, right? But then also I'm working for an agency, which is 10 hours a week. And so this is like a content creation agency, and I am a creative director. So I have to dedicate 10 hours every single week to this agency. And so that is something else that I do alongside my brand, which in my branding of itself, because it's so multifaceted, video. I am, of course, filming content for YouTube. I'm doing a whole lot of things. So I'm just trying to really show you what's on my plate, because I want you to also consider your life and what's going on in your life, right? Like, and don't worry, I'm definitely gonna film a video, okay? I think the video is gonna be posted in May, actually. So if you haven't watched that video, go ahead and make sure you go back and watch that video. But I want to, of course, provide you all the tools and resources for how to actually balance your plate as a multifaceted, just individual, right? Like, as an entrepreneur, yes, you have another load on your plate because you're not just clocking into a 9 to 5. It is a lot more responsibility because you're most likely fulfilling a lot of different roles because you don't have a big team as of now. And so again, I wanted to paint this picture because I know that you can relate, right? In some facet, you have multiple different areas that you are responsible for on a day-to-day basis. And I think so many times we see so many videos on how to be productive as an entrepreneur, but I don't think it's taking into consideration that we are multifaceted. We are, one person, but we are responsible for different areas of our life, right? Like, I not only am I an entrepreneur, but I am also in full-time ministry, right? So those are things that you have to consider. Like, you have to consider that as you are moving forward and working and planning every single week. Like, I can't just dedicate all of my time to my business because my family needs me, right? I'm needed in ministry. I'm needed in all of these different areas. And I think that's honestly what being multifaceted is all about. I'm not just talking to the individual that is just focusing on one thing. I'm talking to the individual that's like, a juggler at this point, and we have multiple balls that we have to juggle on a day-to-day basis. So this video is honestly great for those who are mothers. I'm not a mother yet, but this wisdom that will be found in this video can be applied, right? It's great for those who are, wives. It's great for those who are husbands. It's great for those who are entrepreneurs. It's great for those who are in full-time ministry. It's great for those who, again, have all of these different areas, because guess what? We are multifaceted. Right? Multifaceted. So that's what it means to be multifaceted. And maybe even in your business, you have multiple ideas, multiple avenues, right? So that's the thing. I have multiple moving pieces in every area of my life. You know what I mean? That's something that I really want to kick off our conversation with, is the fact that life is life and for us all. We all have a plate to balance, right? We all have responsibilities. The question is, how do we not, I'm gonna just quit this and quit that? Because some things we are truly called to. Now, there's a difference. I always say, go ahead, get rid of distractions, things that should not be on your plate. Because the thing is, we gonna have a plate. The reality is we're going to have a plate. But the question is, how can I balance the stuff that I'm supposed to be doing, the stuff that is attached to my purpose, right? Because family, that's purpose, right? Like, it's not just, making money in a business, full-time ministry. Your first ministry is your family. That's why I'm big on priorities. It's me, then it's my home, then it's community, then it's my business, then it's my ministry. You get what I mean? So again, there's an order to things, as you can see. That's why, again, I'm big on intentional living. If you go and look at our intentional living planner, I'm big on priority planning. I don't just put stuff on my calendar. I put things in a bucket, okay? And then before I can even get to the third bucket, I have to make sure the first 2 buckets are on my calendar first. And then if I have more time, then, I'll say yes to this. And I say, I can't just give my yes away. Why? Because I got too much on my plate. You know what I mean? So for all my people pleasers, all my yes men, and yes, I can. No, you can't, honey. You ain't got the time. Okay, that's the reality. You are only given so much time in a day-to-day span, right? You're only given so much time in a week. You're only given so much time in a month. The reality is you cannot afford to say yes to everything and everybody. You just can't, right? And so you have to be intentional about what you give your yes to. And you're only able to do that when you are aware of your priorities, right? I'm only saying yes to purposeful things. Go ahead, repeat after me, friend. I'm only saying yes to purposeful things. I'm only saying yes to that. If it's not in priority, I'm sorry you rushing me, but here's a boundary I gotta put up. I gotta check my calendar first. Hold on, because I'm occupied with my purpose. So I gotta check my calendar before I can commit. So again, I was going through this exactly this week, and I literally had to take a second to journal because I began to realize that my mental outlet, my mental break was in binging shows. Like, I feel like when you are binging a show, you just don't have to think about what's going on, right? Like, I'm being pulled in several directions. So it's like to just sit down and watch a show is so relaxing to me, which is okay, but it's not always a healthy option, right? Because that cannot be my mental escape. Jesus is supposed to be my mental escape, okay? And so the Lord, he exposed that, and I appreciated that because, I gotta be honest, like, I can't continue to use binging shows as a decompressor from my day. I have to do the healthy things, decompress, and then just relax and enjoy. So I can have both, but I cannot continue to use binging a show as a mental escape. I have to really deal with and unload from the day. And so that's what I began to do, and I just began to brain dump. And as I was reflecting, because that's the biggest thing, you have to learn to reflect. As I was reflecting over my behavior, I realized that I was not keeping my boundaries, right? So for, the agency or whatever the case may be, like, once I'm clocked out, I don't care how urgent something is, that will be handled tomorrow. I can't just, every time a notification come in or every time I can't just rush to every urgency, right? Because I'm saying yes to purposeful things. And one of those purposeful things is making sure that I'm delegating my time where time needs to be delegated. But once that time is up, it's time to focus on the next thing, because again, I have multiple things to take care of, right? And so I realized, okay, reflecting over my day, you need to make sure you're sticking to boundaries, right? And then also, as I was sitting here journaling, and this is what I really wanted to share, and this is what we're gonna wrap up, because I ain't trying to be here for too long. But this is really what I wanted to share, because as I was writing and reflecting, the Lord, that's why I'm grateful for the wisdom above, right? Because when it drops on you, it just makes so much sense. But literally, as I was sitting here reflecting, and this is why I also like journaling, because it's easy to hear the voice of the Lord. As I was journaling, and I'm looking down because I had to pull up my journal. As I was journaling, the Lord began to say, be mindful to not add everything onto your mental plate. Be mindful not to add everything to your mental plate. So a lot of the times when people are asking, how do you balance your physical plate? Because all of these things are physical, right? You got your business, you got your ministry, you got your home, you got yourself. You got all of these things that you're supposed to be, balancing, right? And a lot of the times you think that balancing physical things is actually happening in the physical, which yes, there are physical hacks and things that you can do to make sure that, you stand on task, like, time blocking, all of those things. But the reality is it starts in your mind. You have to make sure that you're stewarding your mental plate. And so he began to give me this wisdom that in order to balance your physical plate, you have to learn to steward your mental plate. You have to learn to declutter and to say no to urgencies or notifications. So what do I mean by that? If I am focusing, for example, I'm gonna give you an example because this is really what happened in my day. If I am teaching and facilitating a class for my business accelerator, right? But I'm receiving notifications from the agency, I have to mentally say, no, I can't take care of that right now because I'm being present for this moment. You know what I'm saying? I'm in here in this moment. I can't take care of that. So I have to say, no, this can wait. But the moment that I say yes mentally, right? Because you got to say, it starts here. The moment that I say yes mentally, I open up the notification. I start trying to answer it and be present there. Now I'm trying to be present in two places. So now I'm starting to get overwhelmed. Now I'm starting to get anxious, right? Because I said yes mentally. So you have to say no. You have to take charge and say, no, I can't. I cannot add that to my mental plate right now. I don't have the mental capacity. This is where we start being real with ourselves. I'm limited. I don't have the mental capacity. I am out of office. Go ahead, pause notifications. That's what I had to start doing. I'm out of office, because you can do that on Slack. I'm out of office, pause notifications until tomorrow, because I don't want to see nothing, hear nothing. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I had to do, because the reality is I have to control what's on my mental plate. I can't think about 5 different things and facilitate this class right now. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I began to realize. And it was like, if I'm trying to be present for one thing, I can't give mental access to thing 2 or 3 right now. And so that's where, again, that overwhelmed feeling comes from multitasking and all of the things. And then again, more wisdom began to come, and he began to say, give yourself permission to be present for that one thing in that one moment. That's really where balancing your plate comes in at. You have to learn the art of monotasking instead of multitasking. I know your plate big. I know you got to be all of these things, but I had to even learn, even for like my husband in our home. I'm like, okay, in a moment that I'm in a deep work, I remember yesterday he called me and I texted him, hey, like, I'll call you back. I'm in a deep work sprint right now, because I'm learning I can't talk to you and work. You know what I'm saying? I can't, and sometimes when he's home and he's not, being a firefighter, saving the world, okay, when he's not doing that, he's at home because he works 24, he's off 2 days. So when he's off, I'm still at work, but I have to switch up on him. We could go to the coffee shop and study together while you study, I'll do this, or I'll just switch locations and I'll come back, because I'm an entrepreneur. I can work wherever I want. But if I work at home, he see me at home. He like, what you doing? You want to talk about this? You want to talk about a vacation? And I'm like, I'm trying to work. You know what I'm saying? And so I even had to learn to put boundaries. Hey, I'll talk about that at 1 o'clock. Can I just have this time to like really focus? You know what I'm saying? So it's just about gentle reminders and boundaries and saying no. That's a way to say no. You don't got to be rude to say no. It's a gentle reminder. Hey, no, I don't have mental capacity for that right now. You cannot have mental access to me right now. I'm in a zone. You know what I mean? And so again, that's what I had to learn, that I need to learn the art of monotasking in this one moment. Even right now, this one moment, people may be texting me, doing all of these things. I'm focused on filming. I'm focused on talking to you, friend. I'm locked in. But what would it be? I would be overwhelmed if I'm trying to talk to you, work on another task, put my phone up, answer to people. That's too much. Now I'm overwhelmed. So in order to balance your large plate, you need to learn how to steward your mental plate. And the trick I want to challenge you to try is monotasking. I'm present for this one moment, for this one task. I'm giving it all I got. And once this task is over, I'm going to give myself a little room, a little white space to breathe and debrief. Feel all that I'm feeling. Check in. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to check in with yourself throughout the day. Why? Because I'm the vessel that is serving all of these different areas, right? And I'm big. It's biblical. Okay, this is a biblical principle. Jesus, he would heal a little, and then he'd disappear. You know what I'm saying? Because he needed to reset, reboot. So I encourage you to do the same, okay? He was the most impactful. I say this all the time, but he escaped. He went away. And so you have to make sure even throughout your day, you do a task, you set a time block for a task, monotask, you work on one thing. After that, give a little white space. Give yourself time to breathe, time to debrief. Was that task a little stressful? You got a headache? You need something to drink? Okay, cater to you, because it's you that gotta, after that debrief, you gotta head right into the next task, whether that's for your house, for your family, for your business, for your ministry. Just take time to debrief, rinse that task off, and get your mind prepared for the next one. So that's pretty much how I'm learning to balance my large physical plate. Again, I think there's multiple hacks that you can implement on a physical note, but I really wanted to talk about stewarding your mental, right? Because our mind is always going. And so you have to train your mind to focus on one thing at a time, right? You got a big plate, but you can only do one thing at a time, friend. I mean, we could try to juggle all we want, but it's only gonna lead to anxiety. So one thing at a time. Say it with me, friend. One thing at a time, okay? And yeah, it's gonna get done. And the reality is, if it don't get done today, guess what? You got tomorrow, okay? That's why I got a pivot list, okay? I got my to-do list, but I got my pivot list. If it just don't get done today, it's okay. The world ain't gonna end. Now, that's all. That's it, friend. That is all. That is it, okay? I hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more. And comment below which topics we should talk about next, all right? Love you. Bye.